Virgo, and welcome to my channel Inspiring Life Changes. Thank you very much, and welcome to those of you who've come across to see what it's all about. If you haven't been here before, welcome, and to those of you who have come back to see what is happening again, welcome and thank you for being here. This is a reading today for you Virgos, Sun, Moon, Venus, Rising and cusp energy of Virgo. Again, if you don't know where any of those placements are, there will be a free natal link in the description box down below so that you can go and check out your other placements, your Moon, your Rising, your Venus, and also find out whether or not you are a cusp energy. If you are, you're going to be at the 0 degree of Virgo, moving away from Leo, and the other end, 29 degrees of Virgo, moving towards Scorpio energy. So you may want to check out those readings as well if you fall into either of those 2 degree points of your sign, Virgo. So Virgo reading. I'm going to start off with 2 cards. In fact, I'm going to bring them both out together. Overall energy. I asked for what is the overall energy of what is happening in Virgo's life at this time. And we have the Son of Swords and the Power of the Earth, the 4 of Pentacles, stones, earth itself, however you prefer to call it, coins. But it's symbolizing here an energy of something that doesn't want to budge, something that's very stubborn, something that's very persistent is what's coming through for you here, Virgo. But with this energy, the Son of Swords, it's a very fast moving, very swift energy. And you, like your ruling planet at this time, which is Mercury, you're ruled by Mercury and Chiron, and Mercury is in retrograde, so everything is very much up in the air at this time, it feels. I'm very kind of aware of these 2 eyes either side of this Osiris figure here. And this could be either that you are being watched or being like all eyes are on you at this time, Virgo, for some reason. Or that you are watching something, that you're keeping an eye on something, that you're not letting something out of your sight. And this could also have something to do with this very kind of stubborn energy, persistent energy is what's coming through for me with this 4 in particular, persistent energy. So we'll see what comes out in the rest of the reading. Or before I do, I will also quickly mention that at the bottom of this same deck of cards we have the 5 of Swords, and I just quickly want to mention cross watchers as well, because I'm really bad at remembering to bring cross watchers into the reading. But cross watchers, if you're in a relationship with a Virgo, have been or want to be, then this reading could actually be more your story than it is theirs that you're listening to. Just be aware that the energies can be relating to yourself when you're listening to a reading as well. So the 5 of Swords here is talking about defeat. For me, it's kind of saying something overwhelming, an overwhelming situation. And all of these swords are broken as well, which is quite interesting, because it's almost feeling like all avenues are closed or broken. Yeah, like you can't go down. It's like you might have tried to go down certain paths, but they all seem to be, I'm kind of hearing crumbling, in the sense of if you're kind of feeling that you don't seem to be able to get anywhere, is what's kind of coming through with this energy. So we'll see what else comes through in the reading here, Virgo. You're starting the reading off with a very feeling energy, a very sensitive energy. You may be feeling a little bit sensitive at this time with this Mercury retrograde as well. King of Cups relates to the sensitive, watery realm of Cancer, Pisces and Scorpio, all very feeling, intuitive, instinctual energies. But there's also a kind of contemplation energy that's coming through for me with this King of Cups. Like the way that he's looking at this cup. Almost like, he feels almost like he's not sure what to do with it. What do I do with this? Because Virgo, you are a very logical energy. You're very much of the mind. You're very quick thinking because you have Mercury as your ruling planet, as I was saying. But at this moment in time, Mercury being retrograde, you may not be feeling fully alert or kind of coming through on that same wavelength. Because the crossing energy that we have here as well is the Eight of Wands. So this is what's blocking you at this time. And I feel that it's got something to do with this cup. Like I was saying, almost like you don't know what to do with it. The 8 can be about messages. It can also be about taking action. Going with the flow of something. But it almost feels, as I was saying, with this card with all these broken swords, it almost feels like all of your paths or your avenues have been blocked. Almost like there's no going back. But then there is these 4 of stones, which are kind of coming through as that stubborn, persistent, holding on to something energy. So it could be somebody who's in your life who is a water sign. But it could also be, Virgo, that you yourself are kind of sitting in that energy, that you are immersing yourself in that energy, allowing yourself to feel what you need to feel. Before you can, because the Son of Swords, which relates to the Knight of Swords, is also about fast action, movement forward. So it feels on some level like, because you've got this fast moving energy that you want to act on, but then you've got this 4 of stones, which is also kind of saying like stay, like keep hold of that, don't kind of jump ahead too quickly. There's also this persistence. So we'll see what else comes out as we go through the reading. in your head and what you're aware of is the card of Justice. A balancing up. It's upright. So either you yourself have gone through a period of time of, or you're thinking about kind of bringing justice to a situation, wanting justice in a situation, or you have been through a time where you've had to find that fairness, that balance, that place of justice within you for a situation in your life. Because it's upright, it feels as though it's a positive energy. It's an energy that has worked in your favour or is working in your favour. Could be to do with law courts, legal matters in general. It can also be to do with could be to do with divorce. A separation from something. But there's a sense of justice within this. Of something that was very, what's the word? It was very balanced. It was very fair. It has been very like acceptable for both sides. And what we have coming out after this is the Two of Cups. So this is an energy that is moving away here. Which, if it is to do with a divorce, if it is to do with a separation, which it could be, there's a feeling that this is kind of almost like these scales here that she's holding in her hand, which signify that balance and that fairness, that harmony. But it feels like there was no bad feelings. Because this is an energy that's moving away. And underneath it, in the subconscious realm, the place that you may not be aware of at this time, Virgo, of where it's all coming from, so to speak, we have the Five of Wands and the Queen of Swords. And the Five of Wands can be about battling with something within yourself, like your own worth. Self-doubt, challenging your perception of yourself, especially with this Queen of Swords here as well. Again, it doesn't have to be a female energy that I'm talking about here, masculine, feminine. We all have both. But the Five of Wands is an energy of challenge, of kind of really facing your fear and doing it anyway is kind of what's coming through here. And kind of like using this as a support system somehow is also what's coming through. This Queen of Swords is very much about fairness and balance. When she's upright, she's very similar to the Justice energy in that sense, because she also holds this sword of truth here as well. So the Justice energy can kind of cut through all of the kind of exterior crap of a situation, shall we say, and just get straight to the nitty-gritty of something. And the Queen of Swords can do exactly the same. Very perceptive, very discerning. There's a truthfulness here. But it feels like for you, if this was just your own energy here, like you had to face up to some big fears, some big challenges, and still kind of stay true to who you were. And the energy that's coming in, the Ace of Pentacles here, and the Ten of Swords in reverse. This Ace of Pentacles feels to me like new territory, like somewhere you haven't been up until now. Like this is new territory is the word that's coming through. New territory, as in maybe a different area, maybe like again, if it has been a divorce, because it's a general reading, it can be to do with work or friends or family or relationship. It can be anything in particular, but I'm kind of getting this strong sense of separation from something, but something that you haven't fully left. But this, like, you haven't fully left it on an energetic level, not on an actual physical level, because I feel on a physical level you have moved into this new territory. It's like, you know, being married and then not being married, for instance. It's new territory. But there is the Ten of Swords in reverse here as well. So again, it feels like a lot of fear, or it will be as this is coming in. A lot of mental exhaustion, a lot of kind of really feeling like completely done in by something. Like you've got no more energy to put into it. Like mental energy, like logical energy. It's like this. That's what this I feel is about. It's like all avenues. It's like, you know, trying lots of different ideas or like logical thought processes, but everything kind of kept like literally kind of breaking down in front of you, so to speak. Like, no, you can't go down that road, no, you can't go down that one, no. And so it has been very exhausting on a mental level. And because it's a 10 and it's in reverse, it's kind of saying to me that it's gone now, it's done, it now needs to be let go, so that you can enjoy this new territory that you're going to find yourself in, this new experience, this new opportunity. But there is a sense also, as I was saying, of holding on to something here, of not releasing something, of kind of this persistence of trying to keep things the same even though they're not the same anymore. And maybe it has something to do with, well, what do we do now? How do we deal with this kind of situation? You know, what's the way forward in our relationship now? Because you can't, it's not the same, so you can no longer come at it from the same energy as you were doing or have been doing, or when you were actually together. So it's like something has changed, but there's still this strong kind of wanting to keep things the same, like status quo type of thing. Because literally, because it is new energy, it's like you don't really know yet where it's going and how it's going to turn out. But the Empress energy here is also saying to me that there is this new growth coming into your life here, Virgo. There is going to be this new abundance. It's kind of opening up with this Ace of Pentacles. It's opening up this new understanding of life, new enjoyment of life, new, literally, like it just feels like very nurturing for you, not just nurturing but very fulfilling, satisfactory. And with the Page of Wands there as well, again, it's that kind of new energy, new start, new beginning. It's also a sense of having done the right thing. With the Empress energy here, it's like you know that you've done the right thing. You know that you know your value and your worth. And because of that, you can, you also know that how you dealt with the whole situation has come from a place of what's the word I'm looking for here? Like authenticity. Like you've been very authentic about the whole thing. And it's bringing you to this place of kind of new wonder is what's coming through. This new sense of enjoying life again. Experiencing life again, because the Page of Wands talks about this energy of like, how do you put it, like a freedom to explore, to discover, to experience your own creativity, your own dreams, ambitions. Which I feel are kind of coming up to the surface as well, because the Empress is often depicted as being pregnant, and she is kind of depicted in this here as well, and that represents like the Mother Earth energy, that constant like giving of yourself in a way. It doesn't necessarily mean an actual baby, but it kind of, for me here, it's kind of talking about giving birth to your dreams, your desires, your dreams, desires, projects, your idea of what you want to do with your life and with your world. But in your environment, you have the Emperor. So we have both the Emperor and the Empress out together, which is interesting because the Emperor is in reverse here. So it could be that at this time, Virgo, there's a lot more of this energy coming to the surface, this kind of acceptance of things that are naturally occurring. You may be drawn more to kind of a natural environment, maybe moving out to the country for some of you. I'm also getting a sense of just this female energy, this nurturing, caring, accepting, like receptive energy. It's almost like you just feel very receptive to life and to see where it's going to take you and what it has to offer. But in your environment, you'll still have to struggle in a way with this this Emperor energy, which is this sense of maybe not being in control or not being your own boss here. Because the Emperor is the boss. But also it does talk about the masculine and the feminine energies as well, literally. Like the masculine energy is much more, it's that patriarchal, kind of controlling, dominating, dominant. But it is coming through to me somehow as kind of like country and city for some reason. Like, because this is kind of colourful and full of nature and life, and this is kind of grey and kind of more controlled, a more controlled environment. So let's see what else comes out for you, because this actually is in your environment. So you may feel at this time that you're being, that it's kind of harsh, that it's a harsh environment, that it's hard, it's not very, you don't feel very, maybe you don't feel very taken care of or mothered. I'm not sure exactly what that's. It could have something to do with that masculine, feminine side of your own nature, the mother, father energy. For some of you, if you are fathers, it could be talking about being a single father. And again, kind of new territory, not knowing where it's going, or, you know, how you're going to approach it. But it also could be that some of you are kind of out of touch with this side of your own nature. As in, you sit back and wait for things to come to you, which is this very receptive Empress energy, in fact. But it's kind of saying as well, like, you know, what are you going to do with it? Because the Emperor can also talk about bringing something into the real world. Whereas the Empress creates inwardly, the Emperor is much more about creating outwardly. It's like science and like mechanics and, you know, all that outside, like building and that kind of thing, energy. So it feels as though there's a kind of blockage here, possibly to do with your masculinity at this time, Virgo. The 10 of Cups is in your hopes and your fears. And I think, you know, that's what you're wanting, that's what you're searching for, that's what you're looking at. And I think on some level also you do feel as though you did have that at one point. That was in your life, in your energetic field, shall we say. So it's like it's still there, but it's there as a memory rather than an actuality at this time. So you know how it feels. But on some level there's also this worry or this fear that it's not something that you're going to kind of find again or create for yourself again, maybe. Also with this Emperor energy. And the last card that we have here is the Ace of Wands, which for me is this kind of wand that he's holding in his hand here. It's almost like kind of discovering something about yourself, Virgo, about how you have this ability to take this wand and kind of, you know, change your world, change your life, you know, because the wand kind of represents the magician and his wand. And I'm not saying you just kind of wave your wand and that's it, everything kind of changes, but it's saying that you have that creative ability to do so. And maybe it needs to be a creative ability that comes more from this kind of energy rather than this kind of energy at this time, like less logic in a way and more emotions, which may be what the King's about here as well. More emotional intelligence. Because like I said, that King's kind of sitting there with that cup kind of saying, you know, I don't really know what to do with this. So let's see what the confirmation cards want to say here, Virgo. So Virgo, Sun, Moon, Venus, Rising. Interesting. So that's the Two of Cups come out again. So there has been this situation, I feel, or there could be another situation That may be the reason why everything's changed, why you're in this new territory, why you're feeling this deep sense of sensitive, like feeling love towards somebody. But it just feels on some level that there is this kind of like holding back on your emotions and your feelings here. Because like I was saying, this cup, it's almost like you feel it, but you don't quite know what to do with it, Virgo. It's like the way he's looking at it for me today is almost like, what do I do? What do I do with this? But the Two of Cups did come out the right way. So it's saying that there is this connection. Whether it's still a connection with the same person here, but even though you've disconnected or you're no longer together, separated, divorced, at the same time the feelings are still very strong. The feelings are still there, which could also be why you've got this Emperor and Empress energy here as well. But you, again, with this Emperor energy, it's like you are holding back. You're kind of keeping that masculine, like, action, shall we say, which could also be this Eight of Wands, challenging energy as well. You're keeping your actions in control. You're managing to control, but it could also be too much control when the Emperor's in reverse. So let's see what else we have here, because that Four of Stones, I keep kind of feeling it behind me, and it's kind of pulling me back, say, like, you know, that there is a stubborn energy here that's kind of not wanting to let go, move on. Persistence. Oh, and we've got the Lovers over the top of the Justice energy. We have the Lovers come out. And for some of you, this could be the reason why you separated from this other person. Because it is feeling very much like a love reading for some reason. It's supposed to be a general read, but it has kind of felt like it's turned into a love read, a general love read of what is happening in your life at this time, Virgo. And of course, we have these Two Cups here as well as these Two Cups from your past, but again, it's feeling like there's still emotional attachment here. But at the same time, and possibly because of that this justice, this fairness, this understanding of some need to go your own way for the pair of you, made things easier. Easier as in the sense of you didn't want to fight or argue or cause trouble, because there was still this strong It feels like this strong energy of still having those feelings, those strong feelings. I keep looking at these brick walls as well for some reason. It's like these brick walls, oops, are representing, and maybe that's also got something to do with this energy here as well. So I was talking about like every avenue, like all the pathways that you tried to kind of take to maybe resolve something or sort something out, because this is the card of defeat or overwhelm as well. It can feel like an overwhelming situation where you don't know how to cope with the issues. Like there's too much to deal with all at once. And so you just kind of feel defeated. You just feel like you're not getting anywhere. You're not making any difference. And so it feels as though that was the kind of decision, in a way, that was made. For some of you, there could also be, like I was saying, there could also be somebody new that has entered your life. And maybe you're waiting for the right time for things to kind of, this person could maybe be getting divorced, separating from their partner, and you may be waiting, not wanting to complicate things as well. Because I just keep getting that king is kind of just sitting there with this cup thinking, what do I do with it? I've got it, I feel it, but I don't know what I'm going to do with it. You have the Wheel of Fortune, number 10 in the tarot deck. The Wheel of Fortune. Over the top of this Two of Cups, which does talk about destiny, about divine timing, about something, maybe something came into your life that kind of changed the direction you were going in. For some of you, for others of you, again, it feels as though this was something that kind of went from the 2 to the 10. There was like this completion, almost completion energy. And just this sense of kind of time to move on, time to literally kind of take fortune into your own hands. To change your fortune. Because this is also about divine timing. So it could also be, again, for some, that sense of waiting for the right time to be able to move forward with something new, this new territory that you're going to be moving into. And we have Temperance. Ah. Okay. So the Shaman of Wands actually came out with the Lover's energy as well here, which I've only just realised. I kind of clocked it earlier, but then I kind of got caught up in other things. Shaman of Wands, King of Wands. Very desirable energy, very passionate energy. So for some of you, there is this very strong passion between you and this person who is separating. It feels like separating from somebody else. Or if you are the person separating from somebody else as well, there is still, it still feels as though there is this strong passion still there, this strong desire, this desire. So yeah, Five of Wands and the Queen of Swords, Mercury Retrograde, my head's all over the place. Temperance over the top of these two cards here. Temperance is all about being, or all about a relationship. She literally exists in that energy. It's like the energy of the relationship itself. The alchemy between two different things, two different people, masculine and feminine. Feminine, Mercury retrograde again. Bringing two energies together to create something new. So either, it feels like either you, Virgo, a few different scenarios coming through here. Virgo, you are either the one that is separating from somebody here, and it's all been, as I was saying, very amicable, very challenging on some level. You've had to really kind of look at yourself, face your fears. Because it's brought up a lot of self-doubt about who you are and whether or not you're capable. Of I'm going to put capable of sustaining a relationship, a marriage, a connection with somebody. But again, because she's wearing a mask here as well, and it kind of feels to me as though there has been this kind of masked energy. Which I know is a bit ironic with everything that's going on at this time, but almost like you know, not showing the real person here. There's a sense of balance as well. But for others of you, it feels like you are doing the waiting for somebody, that you are in that process of waiting for this, like, and again it's bringing up fears and doubts about you. It may be that this person for you is this Empress that you want to kind of give everything to. And for some of you, it is more about a sense of finding that balance of your own masculine and feminine energies, your own kind of like, as I was saying, this desire to take hold of your own life and to do something with it for yourself. To have more time to yourself, maybe. And we have the High Priestess over the top of the Ace of Pentacles and the Ten of Swords. So the High Priestess is basically saying here, Virgo, trust your intuition. Trust what you know deep down. Trust your gut. Trust that you will be okay. Trust that it is going to, well, that it is the right thing, that it is the right path for you to take. Because I feel on some level as well with this Emperor, you may well be being harsh on yourself here, self-critical. With these two pillars here as well, either side of this High Priestess energy, and those two pillars there, almost like you are limiting how you, again it's coming back to this King of Cups, like how you feel about something with this 8 over the top, this 8 of Wands. And this Ace of Pentacles and this 10 of Swords. It's saying get out of your head space and into your, literally, the feelings, the King of Cups. Feel what you're feeling. Allow yourself to feel what you're feeling. And accept that you are in this new territory, that things have changed, that it isn't the same as it was. And I'm still getting this sense of somebody still having feelings for somebody who they have separated from or divorced from. And over the top of your Empress and your Page of Wands, we have the Magician, which is interesting because the Magician is about manifesting and creating. And like I was saying, this to me feels like bringing your dreams into the real world. Kind of, this is your time to enjoy your life. And the Magician is saying that this is about you. You've manifested this. This is what you have manifested. And now it's time to kind of take this wand, which I was talking about here with the Magician, the Magician's wand, and create something really beautiful. And for some of you, that may well be with somebody new, or it may be, for some of you Virgos, it may be just for yourself at this time, that you're just going to create something that you can enjoy and you can appreciate. Because we have the Six of Discs here, which is talking about giving and receiving energy, but it is in reverse. You can see here that she's kind of giving a massage and the other person is receiving the massage. But when it's in reverse, it's kind of saying that be careful that you're not over giving and not allowing yourself to receive. But also kind of to remember that when you do kind of create this wonderful world for yourself here, remember to share it. Because there is this sense of equilibrium with the Six of Discs as well. So that wand is interesting because it's kind of turned up 3 times now, with the Page holding the wand and the Magician down here has got the wand, and then you've got the wand as your outcome as well. So it's saying to me that this is your chance, your ability to create whatever it is that you are wanting to create for yourself here, Virgo. A new opportunity, new territory. And the High Priestess energy, should I say, is kind of, again, it's that feminine, intuitive understanding, which seems to be coming through very strongly in this reading for you, Virgo. You know, the Empress and the High Priestess are very similar kind of energies in a way. And even the Temperance energy as well down here, because it is an alchemical process that is taking place when it's deep in the subconscious realm, which is what the High Priestess talks about, and then it's kind of being brought into and birthed into the world by this Empress energy, which again is literally talking about a creative idea, I feel, rather than it being an actual baby, although for some of you Virgos it might be. So let's see what the Emperor has to say here. Why is the Emperor energy here? I'm flying all over the place. The Priestess of Cups. Queen of Cups. Over the top. So the King of Cups and the Queen of Cups have both come out together. And interestingly, again, it feels like that feminine energy, as I was saying, it's kind of feeling like you're needing to get in tune with something to do maybe with nature itself here, Virgo, as a Virgo. Because you are very much, you're an earth sign, but you're ruled by an air planet. So it's almost like a refined earth. And maybe you need to get kind of back to your the actual roots of things. Less in the head, more in the emotions, or the body is also what's coming through here. Less in the head. Because that's another thing about the masculine energy, is the masculine energy creates from the head rather than creating from naturally within, like the feminine female form does. And there may be people out there who don't like that, but that is how nature is. I didn't design it that way. Nature designed it that way. So there is a lot of feminine and it's not about like being a male and not being able to create. It's not so much about that as it's more about tuning in, I feel, somehow to your female energy, to your being less logical, less in the head, coming less from the intellectual, academic understanding of life. And Yeah, more into the emotional body. Getting in touch with your feelings here, Virgo, is what's going to help the situation, whatever this situation is. Over the Ten of Cups, in your hopes and your fears, you have the Fool energy, which is saying that you do want something new. And it's interesting because if you look at that picture, he's right on the edge of this water, like this blue stream that's running through here. He's like doing this handstand and he's right on the edge of it, which again is talking to me about kind of just being on the edge of those emotional like not actually diving into it. Although on some level I feel as though you're wanting to. But you may be holding back. You may be being very kind of reserved, very kind of, again, very logical about things. Like not wanting to get caught up in the emotional side of things. Possibly because you've been there and you've done that before. And maybe you feel as though, you know, it just brought you to this place of kind of separation and having to deal with emotions that you, or feelings, or like passion, desire that you can't do anything with or about. But the Fool energy is also about trusting your instincts, trusting that you can go with that flow, which is again this High Priestess energy of trust yourself, trust your inner knowing, which is all about the emotions. Like diving to the depths is what I'm getting as well with this whirlpool of energy here. And this well which kind of dives deep. And it's also kind of saying that you don't know where you're going to end up as well, which is also possibly a fear as well. You don't know where you're going to end up. My throat is just kind of feeling a little bit rough there. So you don't know where you're going to end up. So if you do dive in, where is this water, this stream? Where is it going to take you? What's the journey? It's like the unknown. The unknown. You can't control it. You may want to control it, but you can't control it. And that's possibly something that you're coming to realise as well, Virgo, with everything that's kind of happened here. Whether that's from a past relationship, whether that's like with the person that you may have separated from here and is meeting this new person, that you can't control that. You can't control your emotions. They are what they are, and you may not like that feeling of not controlling it. Because over the top of the Ace of Wands here we have the Devil energy, which is literally about wanting to control or being controlled by this. Again, it's kind of this sense of patriarchal, like very logical, very kind of academic way of looking at the world. This devil is kind of sitting on top of this pyramid, and everybody else is in chains or bound by this. So there may be this kind of feeling that on some level that you, if you allow yourself to create this new world, this new life, this new you on some level, that it's going to, that you can't control it, that it's going to like that you can't break free from something. It feels like you're kind of stuck in that rut or that. So again, the devil is fear. The devil is bringing up that fear, those kind of like, you know, this fool energy as well, of not wanting to dive into the emotions, because if you do, where does it take you? Does it take you to this place here? This unknown territory, which is going to bring up all this fear, which feels like it's also got something to do with past experiences as well. But it's a sense of breaking free. That's always what the devil energy is about. It's about breaking free from restrictions that we place on ourselves or society places on us. The way that we should be, the way that we have to be, the way we have to do this, we have to do that. If not, you know, it's like we have to conform. If we don't conform, then we're ostracized, or we're different, or we're looked at differently, which could also be this eyes on you thing as well, Virgo, which I was feeling earlier. People watching you, looking at you to see what you're going to do. You may feel this, you may feel under pressure from this. But it almost feels like you've got all this opportunity, all this amazing new, expansive, creative possibilities kind of opening up in front of you. And yet at the same time you're kind of worried about everybody else's perception. Or kind of breaking free from that energy of who you have been. And what happens when you do that kind of energy? What happens when I change? What happens when I free myself from this? What will be the outcome? Where will it take me? Because it is about the unknown. The intuitive is all about the unknown. High Priestess doesn't reveal everything to us because if we knew everything, we probably would not actually do anything. We wouldn't actually allow ourselves to actually live life. If we always knew what was coming next. So it has to be kept hidden from us in a way, so that we actually make the effort or learn to trust ourselves, trust our instincts. So let's see what the Keepers of the Light would like to say to you here, Virgo. And card for Virgo, please, from the Keepers of the Light. Please, Source. So what I'm getting from this Ace of Wands and this Devil is like, don't allow yourself to hold yourself back. Again, with the Emperor in reverse as well. Don't allow that side of your, like your need on some level to conform, to be the same as everybody else, to not want to stand out. Don't allow that to stop you from being who you are. And we have Joan of Arc, the voice of truth, which says, stand strong, focus on your purpose, release the fear of persecution, and speak your truth. That's literally what this Devil energy is saying. Release that fear of being persecuted by others, that you're doing the wrong thing, that that you don't have the right to do that, or you don't, what makes you think that you can do that when everybody else is doing this? Why do you think you should be able to do that? It's that kind of energy. So let's see. And that's how we're kept in chains and kept bound to the rules and the regulations. And this is calling, it feels like it's calling for you to break free from something, Virgo, quite big in your life. Okay, so Joan of Arc was a medieval French peasant girl who is reported to have been visited by Archangel Michael and other saints who gave her information on how she could help Charles VII save France from the English, or from English domination. She was only a teenager when she went into battle for her country and won a huge victory. She was, however, later captured and burned at the stake. These days, she is a supremely loving guide to all those who want to stand up against the odds. She also helps many light workers overcome their fear of persecution. I have a really, really itchy nose at the moment. I'm sorry about that. So, the extended message. It didn't come out in reverse, but I'm going to read it anyway. So it says, you are being encouraged to stand strong. You may feel unrecognised and misunderstood, but that doesn't mean you have to give up on the mission you feel called to fulfill. You must follow the will of your soul and exercise your leadership spirit by speaking your truth. You may feel as if you are on a battlefield, but this conflict will come to an end as soon as you stop defending yourself. You are not here to prove yourself to others. Instead, approve of yourself. Know that your angels are on your side and that heaven is thanking you for being the honest soul you are. Which was something that came through. There was this sense of integrity, of not causing trouble or being difficult, or in a situation that you could have maybe been more difficult in, Virgo. So again, more feminine energy is what's coming through for me here. A battle maiden, standing strong. So whether you're male or female, Virgo, it's kind of saying to me here that it's the feminine energy that is going to help you to push beyond this fear, to move outside of this restraint and restriction that you're placing on yourself, rather than it may seem as though it's coming from outside, which on some level it is, but it's happening because you are kind of allowing that to happen. So I'm going to leave it there. No, I'm not. I'm actually going to give you a Angel of Light card before I forget that. And then I will leave it there. It feels like a reading of two halves in some ways. Two halves, two people. Two parts of yourself. So an Angel Light card, please, for Virgo. Sun, Moon, Venus, Rising and cusp energy of Virgo. Sun, Moon, Venus, Rising and cusp energy for Virgo. Sun, Moon, Venus, Rising. Okay, let's see what we have. Synchronicity. There is no such thing as chance in our incredible universe. The coincidences and synchronicities are carefully orchestrated by your guides and angels. So recognize them as the hand of spirit. I also believe that it comes from within ourselves as well. So rejoice when you notice them, for they are the angels' message to you that you are on the right path. I'm sure I was saying something about being on the right path earlier. Start to expect them and look for them. Be aware that there is a divine reason behind them and consider what the message or lesson is. Synchronicity is also a reminder to you that all things happen in divine timing. And the affirmation is, all things happen in perfect timing. So I am going to leave that there now, Virgo, and say that I hope that it has been some help to you. I hope that you have benefited from it. It has been a bit of a strange reading for me. It seems kind of a little bit all over the place on some level, almost like, as we're saying, kind of two halves to it or something, like something dividing. I'm not quite sure exactly what, but hopefully it makes some sense to you and that you have managed to get something out of it. If you have, please could you thumbs it up for me, because it does really help me to get it out to the bigger, broader YouTube world where people can kind of hopefully see it. It can get recommended on other channels. The more likes it gets, the more recognition my channel gets, and that's really what I'm trying to do at this time, is to get people to recognize my channel, to like my channel, to subscribe to my channel. So thank you very much to those of you who do like my videos and those of you who subscribe. I really do appreciate you being here. Also, if you want to leave a comment before I forget, because that just kind of popped into my head, so I'm going to say it now, please also, that would be really welcome. I would like to read what you feel about the readings that I'm doing. It's nice to get some feedback rather than just sitting here and talking to my phone, which is kind of what I'm doing. I'm used to having somebody on the other side, but it's all a little bit different. So again, subscribe and hit that bell to get the notifications as and when they come out, if you're interested in that. Also, there's a playlist with all the videos that I've done so far. No times, no dates, because life is full of crappy situations that kind of happen every time in people's lives, so there's nothing definite about any of it. And I do all the moon readings as well. Again, Mercury Retrograde, my mind's just going blank there. All the full moon, new moon readings, both the astrology and the tarot sides of them as well. So you will also find them under the playlist. And I think that's everything. Share my videos as well if you think that anybody else out there is going to benefit, find something of interest. Please feel free to share them. And hopefully, Virgo, I will see you again soon next time. And take care of yourself until then.